This video help guide is going to walk you through how to add a sale into Mybridal. With our system, adding a new sale creates a new customer. So any brides you have booked in for appointments don't become customers unless you add a sale against them. So the best way to add the sale is to actually do it from the appointment itself. That means that you're not repeating information, you're not typing new things in every single time. It just means all the data gets pulled across. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the diary. I'm then going to choose an appointment to add a sale against. So I'm going to go for this one. If you click on the appointment, it opens the appointment pop-up and it has the information about the appointment in here. But you'll notice up here it has the little sale tag icon and it says add sale. So we're going to go ahead and click that to add the sale. This then opens the ability to add the new customer. So you just follow this process through. So you'll see that it's connected to the appointment, and also if it's a second appointment it will connect to both of the appointments that bride has had before adding the sale. And you can see I've also filled an inquiry form in for that bride. That's also connected to the customer account now. The employee, you just choose the employee that has made the sale. So you can choose from your drop down of your employees, or if you need to add a new one you can do by pressing the button here. The sale date will default to today's day or whatever day the appointment is on. However, if you want to backdate it, you can. You just need to click on the calendar picker and you can backdate it to a different day as well. If I go through to the next stage, it then pulls across the customer information. So you can see it's pulled across the name, the address, email, phone number and wedding date from the information the bride has already filled in. We're then going to move on to the next stage, which is where you add the items in the sale. So the first thing we want to do is add our first item. So I'm going to add a wedding dress. I'm going to choose from our categories, so I'm going to go down and I'm going to choose a wedding dress, and that will then populate all the codes of the different wedding dresses we have saved. So if you open the drop down, you'll see all of these which have been added into my inventory. So you don't have to add an item from your inventory, you can free type it by just typing in here. So by typing, I don't know, like 1, 2, 3, 4, I could add an item this way. But most of the time when you've added inventory into the system, the best way is to choose it from the drop down because it will pull across all the variation options and the retail price as well. So I'm going to go ahead and select, let's go for that dress. I then can choose my variations from the drop down. So you can see this has generated lots of different colour and size options. So I have some kind of strange sizing systems added in there, but you can see it's in ivory, white and another colour. Different sizes ranging between 12, 14, 16, and they've all been added as my variations. So say I wanted to sell the white size 14, I could select this one and it'll pull that information across for the retail price. If you're doing a special order or it's a variation that you haven't got saved in the system, you can just use this little tool here and click on it and it opens up this item variation box. So you can see it has the colour and the size. So say I wanted to change that to size 30, I could change that there, and I could also change my SKU there as well, size 30. I could do colour, I could do white, dash, rose, say you wanted to add an accent colour or something. So you can add that customisation in the box as well there, if I then update. In terms of the price, like I say, it will pull across the retail price from your inventory if you have it saved against this product. If you purely free type your variation, it won't have a price associated to that, so you'll have to click on the box here and you can change the price. So you can literally just type in to change the price as well. We do also have this tool here, which is the discount tool, which you can use by clicking on it. And you can discount the price any way that you wish, and it will then display this discount on the receipt. So for example, say the bride's haggled with you and you've agreed a price, you can put in the discounted price here. So say it's £900, that shows it's a discount of 10%, and that will then translate across to the receipt as a discount of £100. If it's the other way around, say you have a set discount amount, so if you're doing a promotional weekend where you get 10% off, or 15% off, you can then change by the discount amount. Or if you have a promotion, so say you're knocking £100 off the dress if people come in for a certain weekend, you could do it that way too. So you can add the discount in all different ways and just click update, and that will then be saved against that sale. You can add any notes in here that you want for the order, and these can then be visible on the sale receipt as well. So I can add in some notes saying, what should I say? Dress to come with sleeves and extra tulle layer. You're then choosing how that item is being fulfilled. So you have options of, you can just choose to ignore it, so we can have NA, which is selected at the moment. You then also have the options for stock. So if we click on here, you go in and you can choose, so you can put NA, you can put stock item, or you can put order. So NA is generally used when it's a non-inventory item. So if it's like a charge, or if it's a service that you're selling, the NA will be applicable. But if it's an inventory item, you'll need to choose how you're fulfilling it. So if it's from stock, I can go on here, and if I actually had any stock of this item, it would display here, and it will say that I'm using that stock item. My new stock count will be this amount. However, I'm going to do an order for this item, so I'm going to come on here and ask you if you want to create an order item. Now, this then communicates with our order system if you want it to. If you're not bothered about getting an order reminder or using our order system, you can just go ahead and click no, and you don't need to create an order item, because you're not going to pick it up and generate an order with it. However, if you want to keep track of your orders, I'd recommend that you click yes. It then pulls across the event date, so in this case it's the wedding date, and it then gives a required date. This required date it always defaults to 12 weeks before the event date, but you can change it. So this is essentially the required date when you want the dress with you in stock in the shop, normally to start the alteration process. So I could click on that. Say you wanted it a little bit earlier than then, you wanted a couple of weeks lead time, I can change it there. This then communicates with the order system using the supplier's lead time that you set up when you added your suppliers, and that then generates a reminder in the order section at a certain time to say, okay, you need to be ordering your dress now, essentially. So I'm going to head and put those options in, and you can add multiple sale items. So say you wanted to add a veil, a bag, you can carry on adding multiple different options on here as well. So I'm going to put a belt through. If you haven't got any items saved for that category, you can always put a misc through, or if it's an item that's just a one-off, you can always put them through as misc. So I'm going to put this through as a misc item. Let's say I've sold them at £30, and I'm going to say this is a stock item. I haven't actually got any stock, but I'm not going to order it. I'll say it's something that's sat in the shop. I'm then going to move over to the next stage. So if I click next, it brings you to the payment section. Now, this then sets up exactly how you're going to split the payment with the bride. So you can see here, I have my settings set up to be 20% tax, and this is set up to the UK settings. So we have it set so we have 20% tax or VAT, and that price, that is inclusive in the price is displayed originally in the retail price. You can edit this in the settings, because obviously this works differently in different countries, so you can change your tax rate to whatever is the right rate for you. You can set that up to be exclusive, so if you're based in the US, you'll want that to be exclusive of that and it to be added on after the retail price. Or you can remove this option if you're based in the UK and you're not actually a company that uses VAT. If you're not VAT registered, you can get rid of that option, so it will just show the retail price here. But you can set all that up in your settings by going there. You then choose the payment, so you can pay in full if you're taking a full balance payment from the customer, or most people tend to do an initial payment and another payment, so 50-50, or you can also use initial payment to do like a payment plan. So if it gets you the sale, you could split the payments over a few months. So by clicking on initial payment, you'll see it defaults to 50-50 here. This terminology is customizable in your settings as well, so I have it set to initial payment and payment before dress is due, but you might want it to be a deposit and payment on collection. You can change that to what you want it to say. So this will do it to 50-50. If I click recalculate, you'll see that it splits to a payment of £465 today and my balance of £465. It's telling me I've got one payment after today. This date here will always default to a month's time, but I would change this to roughly when you think that payment will be made. So if you know roughly when they're going to collect, so a few weeks before the wedding or just before the wedding, you can change that date to then, so it won't come up with a payment reminder until closest to the time. If you want to do more than one instalment, you can go ahead and you can click the installments option, and you could go and choose basically however many installments you want. So let's say I wanted to do 4 installments at the end of the month when most people would want to pay you. You can then just hit recalculate, and it will break that up into equally, the balance up into 4 equal amounts over the next 4 months. And you can mess around with that as many times as you want. You can go to, okay, 6 months, I'll recalculate again, and it will then just simply recalculate it. So you can keep changing that. I know not all people do payment plans, but it's a really good option to have if you do, you know, if it helps you to get the sale. You can also then go ahead and you can add any notes into the sale down here. So again, you can set these up in your defaults as to what you want your saved notes to be. So these are notes just like commonly used phrase normally. So for example, item sold as seen, you might want that to go onto every receipt. Alterations not included. So you can choose the ones that are quick add here, but you also can free type in here as well. So you could just say dress sold with slight damage, say something off the peg or a sample, right, aware. So you can add that in, and this is then displayed on the sales receipt. So just useful information to pop in. Once you're happy with the sale, you then would click submit, and what that does is it then opens this option. So all this is doing is it's asking you how the payment has been taken. So I'm just going to say this has been a credit card payment. You can confirm payment, and the sale has now been added. We'll do another video and I'll walk you through the customer area, because this is all the information that you can see in here. But for now, that is how you've added your sale, and it has been successfully added.